They have been waiting since April 5th, waiting to welcome back their beloved Huskies. UConn takes the floor for the first time since winning its second national championship in 6 years. Tonight, the title defense begins. And for the 103rd time, Gamble Pavilion is sold out. From Storrs, Connecticut, on opening night, the Buffalo Bulls visit the 7th-ranked UConn Huskies. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Bob Wenzel, and welcome to another season of Big East basketball. You know, Bob, only one team begins the season as the defending national champs, and for UConn, the cupboard was hardly left bare.
No, there's no doubt about it. This cupboard is not bare whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it's filled with outstanding players. Some of them can be very, very hot, as Rashad Anderson was in last year's NCAA tournament. Knocked in 49% of his three-point shots. Underneath the basket, Josh Boone, a sophomore. Excellent rebounding. 14 boards in the semifinal against Duke. He patrols the inside. And the most gifted offensive player on this team, Charlie Villanueva, 6'11", inside and outside at the offensive end. He is looking for a breakout season.
But there are three guys who are not back. Emeka Okafor and Ben Gordon, second and third picks in the NBA draft. And perhaps just as significant was the graduation of point guard Talik Brown.
Oddly enough, I think Talik Brown's being gone is more important than Okafor and Gordon. He steered this ship, has more wins than any UConn player in history, and he has to be replaced by Marcus Williams. Marcus sat out the second half of last year with academics. Guy can really pass the ball. 19 assists in the exhibition games, that's great. 2 turnovers, that's great, but 0 points. So his performance is going to be a big key for this team for the entire year. On the other hand, for Buffalo, they have a battle-tested point guard. He leads this team in scoring, in assists, and steals. Turner Battle is an NBA prospect, and he will be very important for Buffalo all year.
Remember the Alamo? Well, UConn will remember San Antonio for something else, beating Georgia Tech on a Monday night in April to win its second national championship. Tonight, a new season begins. The opening tip is next. Check the starting lineup for the visiting Bulls. The center, Yassine Ibihi, is a preseason All-Mid-American Conference East Division selection. For UConn, Denham Brown has had a terrific exhibition season, scoring 31 points in 2 games, a career 40% shooter from three-point range. It will be Josh Boone jumping center with Ibihi. Brian O'Connell will throw the ball up between them. He's working tonight with William Bush and Pat Driscoll, and we're underway.
Buffalo from the MAC Conference, chosen to be the #1 team in the Eastern Division of the MAC. So this is a formidable opponent.
Rashad Anderson being defended by the much smaller Calvin Cage, and UConn off to a terrific start.
He was hot in the NCAA tournament, and he is still hot. Uncanny ability to shoot with people on him.
Needs to blow on those fingertips some more, I guess. Ibihi up high, hands to Gilbert. Mario Jordan in the lane with the runner over Villanueva, and Boone with his first rebound.
This is where we've got to watch Marcus Williams. I think he's an excellent passer, has good vision, finds people. Right there, a little bump on Villanueva prevents the pass from getting inside.
Jim Calhoun beginning his 19th season. Those are his UConn numbers. He needs just 20 victories to reach the 700 victory plateau.
Unbelievable job here at UConn. 2 national championships, that speaks volumes.
Backdoor cut Gilbert down low as double team gets it over Boone, and Ibihi with the tip in.
Early season games against teams from lesser conferences sometimes can be problems for teams like UConn and Big East teams. We've seen a lot of upsets already. North Carolina losing to Santa Clara. It's not something that UConn wants to be a part of.
Brown baseline. Jordan tried to draw the charge in the lane to Boone. Can't get it to go. Ibihi with another rebound. We played a minute 20. We're tied at 2. Buffalo last year won 12 more games than it did the season before. Only one team in the country, UTEP, had a greater single season improvement last year. Missing the 3 was Battle, and here comes Williams with a 3-on-3 if he hurries. hesitation dribble and throws up the shot. Well, he didn't score in either exhibition game. Didn't take him long once they begin playing for keeps, did it?
It really didn't. He has very good vision. Remember last year at this juncture of the season, people were talking about him beating out Talik Brown. Of course, that never happened.
Anderson for three. He had 87 of them last year, the 5th highest single season total in UConn history.
Second leading scorer in the NCAA tournament last year behind Ben Gordon.
Behe at the top of the circle, puts it on the floor, tries to go right at Boone, and Boone with excellent defense, and Behe will pick up the foul on the rebound. Reggie Witherspoon, the Mid-American Conference Coach of the Year a year ago, did a terrific job.
He really did. He's from Buffalo. He coached junior high school there. He coached high school. He coached junior college. Now at Buffalo as a 4-year school. Tremendous young guy. Really enjoyed talking to him this afternoon. Quite a gentleman, bright, articulate. He's got this program going in the right direction.
High, low, Villanueva to Boone. One of the many skills of Charlie Villanueva, his ability to pass the ball. Battle will slow it up and bring it across. We've played nearly 3 minutes. UConn with a 7-0 run here.
UConn very impressive at the offensive end so far. Buffalo not testing them much on cuts, and here is the first complicated offensive play.
And the shot was swatted away, I believe, by Villanueva. Between he and Boone, there were 4 arms flailing away in there. Williams goes around the Villanueva pick, down low. Boone goes right at Behe, and he'll draw the foul.
Well, post-to-post passing is a very important part of any high-low situation. Right here, Villanueva high to Boone low. They make it easy. Coordinated effort by those two big men, and you're going to see a lot of that this year. Emeka Okafor obviously gone. Boone adjusting to a new teammate. Villanueva only 19 minutes a game last year. And those are Boone's numbers from last season. And we all expect those to get a lot higher this year.
Hilton Armstrong checks in for the Huskies, and Rudy Gay, the Big East preseason choice for Rookie of the Year. There's Gay out of Archbishop Spalding High School in Baltimore, considered one of the top high school players in the country a year ago.
Many people feel he is the best high school player that didn't go directly to the NBA. Reminds one of Charlie Villanueva from last year. He was accorded that same honor at the beginning of the year. Full court pressure trying to be applied by UConn. They want to increase the tempo of the game.
Last foul was on Jordan, his first. 9-0 UConn run and a 9-point lead. Behe sets up high. He's done that on virtually every possession. Mark Ports, 42, is checked in, and as Battle cuts for the hoop, he is held, and we get our first foul of the night of the Huskies. It'll go on Marcus Williams.
Frequent substitutions can be expected this year from UConn, especially in the front court at the 4 and 5 spots. They have great depth there. I think probably more depth in the front court than any team in the country, as Kellogg checks in.
Antonio Kellogg, a freshman from Oakland, California, replacing Williams at the point. Cage to Battle, defended by Anderson. Left of the lane, Bortz wants to go on Armstrong. That didn't work out too well. And Rudy Gay comes away with it, and Bortz will be called for the reach-in foul.
A thought just occurred to me looking at Hilton Armstrong block that shot. Will the UConn players inside this year, between them, have as many blocks as Okafor had last year by himself? And if they do, which is conceivable, the loss of Emeka won't be felt as badly at the defensive end.
Boone had 63 blocks a year ago. Anderson for another 3. Tipped up once by Boone, gets it back, and Josh Boone has given UConn an 11-point lead.
He is all over the glass. Featured him early, both ends, offensively and defensively.
Quick 3 by Cage, no good. Here comes Kellogg ahead to Boone, a little bit too far. And the Huskies turn the ball over for the second time. An 11-0 UConn run. Josh Boone, one of the returnees from the national championship team. Talk about a workmanlike performance. He's got 6. And an 11-0 UConn run has the Huskies out in front over a Buffalo team that's coming off a terrific season, Bob.
Well, they were 5-23 the year before. Last year, 17-12, and they were hot at the end of the year, winning 12 out of their last 15. All their top players are back that did anything last year for them. And of course, last year was the first time a football or basketball team had a winning season since joining them back in 1998. And that man right there, Reggie Witherspoon, responsible for that. So Buffalo coming off a great season, and of course having to play the former national champions, so not an easy task for them early in the year.
Out of immediate timeout, the backdoor cut, the pass deflected out of bounds. And we get our first look at the season, at first look ever in a UConn uniform, at Ed Nelson, the transfer from Georgia Tech, number 32, also re-entering Villanueva, and UConn fell asleep with the switch on the inbound as Bortz gets the lay-in.
Well, Kellogg here at point guard, and Nelson, these guys have not played at all for UConn. Here we get a push off by Villanueva in the paint, trying to get the ball. Villanueva doesn't establish his lower body as well in the paint as he should. He likes to play on the perimeter. Instead of pushing off right here, he pushes off with his arm. Once you extend your arm inside, you're going to get that call. See him holding with his right arm? That's an automatic call. They teach you that in referee school. I know you haven't been to that yet, but I'm sending you next summer.
I'm in referee criticism school. I got all A's. The foul on Villanueva, his first, 2 on UConn. Battle. Left side, Gilbert. They're looking inside for Bortz. He's being defended by Nelson. Jordan spins on Villanueva. Tried to fake him off his feet, but he's the one that dragged the pivot foot.
Villanueva did a very good job of moving his feet. Did not do that last year at all. Defensive liability for Jim Calhoun in his first season, but now moving his feet much better. He likes to play on the perimeter. If he wants to do that, he's got to get those puppies moving.
Third turnover for the Bulls in the first 5 minutes. UConn by 9. Nelson to Denham Brown, being defended by Battle.
Buffalo really after it man-to-man defensively right here. They're hurting inside. UConn scoring inside on them, but really doing a good job on the perimeter.
Cross-court, Cage deflected the pass intended for Kellogg. 10 seconds to shoot for UConn. Rudy Gay will inbound. Gay played this summer for the U.S. Junior Select Team, a national team. Great experience for a young man entering his first year in college. Kellogg forces one. Rebound. Nobody put a body on Brown. He misses the dunk. Here's a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Great passing, but a great recovery by Nelson. Here's a 3-on-1 the other way. Denham Brown having all kinds of trouble. And that one will not be put in the basketball time capsule, will it?
Denham's better pulling up from 3 than putting the ball on the ground and trying to make plays.
Stick a fork in it, someone.
Denham had a great year. You know, over the summer he played for that Canadian national team again, had 25 points against Croatia, had a good game against Brazil as well. I think Jim Calhoun trusts his defense more than he has in the past as well.
He's being assigned the task to defend Battle. Cage for 3. Villanueva all alone with a rebound.
Rebounding will be the strongest suit of this team this year, Bob. They are absolutely awesome at the defensive and offensive boards. And when you are that good at something, then other areas of the game don't have to be as perfect as in the past.
And in the past, they led the country in rebounding margin last year, with Okafor leading the way. Down low, Kellogg finds Villanueva with the left hand.
Boy, that is skillful right there. Impressive pass from Kellogg also. He's an important player because if Marcus Williams falters and doesn't play a lot of minutes, Kellogg is the next likely candidate to replace Talik Brown.
Bortz called for the travel. 4th turnover on Reggie Witherspoon's club. Look at the footwork of Villanueva inside.
Well, right here he's being fronted. Doesn't use his body quite well, just kind of moving around. This was a fortunate play. Guy took the charge under the basket. Of course, that's not called when your head is under the goal.
Marcus Williams, Rashad Anderson, Josh Boone return for UConn. Williams goes around the Villanueva screen, stripped from behind by Gilbert, but then we'll get the reach-in foul on Roderick Middleton, who has checked into the lineup for Buffalo, his first, and number 4 on the Bulls.
This game is being played with a high intensity level and lots of quickness right now. That's why Buffalo is in a little bit of trouble.
Williams looking in the lane, nothing happening. Instead, up top to Anderson. Williams missed the last 23 games last season because of academic issues. Beats Middleton off the dribble, but his pass on the wing is stolen. by Jason Bird. His pass is deflected by Williams. His play getting a little ragged the last couple of trips up the floor. Left side, Gilbert. Up top, Bortz. Middleton to Bortz. He's doubled by Boone and Gay will be called for the reach-in. His first and 3 on UConn.
Well, Rudy Gay makes a play here that's a freshman play. He does not need to double team. Good looking young man. Looks very young also.
He is young. There's a reason for that. You want sometimes young.
Sometimes you see freshmen that look a little older. You know?
Drop step move. Bird misses the shot. And Boone pulls down the rebound. He already has 4 of them. Williams to Anderson. Second 3 of the night.
Anderson's shot is very interesting because as great a shooter as he is, his ball does not rotate very much. Almost like a knuckleball, but he is hearing it from the crowd. Maybe the best shooter in college basketball.
16-2 UConn run. They've opened up a 14-point lead. And Reggie Witherspoon wants to talk things over. Rashad Anderson a year ago had 21 3-pointers in the NCAA tournament, most in UConn history.
6 in several games. Watch the spin on this ball. Not your classic spin, but great arc and great confidence. Guy is really fun to watch.
Anderson is playing with a swollen foot. He has a chip bone on the foot. It has really restricted his ability to go full speed in practice in the preseason. Those are his numbers last year. You can see how he picked up his game in the postseason, concluding with an 18-point effort against Georgia Tech in the championship game.
Well, the difference in those 2 stats that you see there is Denham Brown was a starter last year along with Gordon. So he came off the bench, so he wasn't getting as many minutes, and then he beat Denham Brown out. And of course, was spectacular during the NCAA tournament.
Wound up starting 12 games at the end of the year.
Rashad Anderson's one of those guys who thinks that he's never guarded. He thinks nobody's on him.
Good move to the hole by Middleton for his first basket of the night. Junior from University Park, Illinois. Great high school football player. As a free safety, was recruited by a couple of Big Ten schools. Anderson of Villanueva, who left him alone?
Good teamwork right there by the Huskies. Buffalo showing very good character coming into a tough situation. They're really working hard, but not getting much done right now.
Middleton throws up the 3. He hit 20 of them a year ago as a sophomore. And Boone beats Ipihi down the floor, and Williams finds him. 2 trips up the floor, Bob. Williams found Villanueva all alone, and that time Boone.
He does a better job of passing from the backcourt to the front court than Talik Brown did. Talik wanted to use the dribble to get all the way to the front court. Marcus Williams really throws the backcourt to front court pass very, very well.
With Buffalo really trying to work the backdoor cut. UConn just won't allow it. Gilbert misses the 3. Good box out by Boone, enables Villanueva to get the rebound. Up the floor, you were saying, to the backdoor. Look at it by Rudy Gay. Gay to Boone and the foul.
Court presence. Excitement.
Well, everyone got chest bumps except Jim Calhoun. Williams to Gay to Boone for the finish. Timeout.
If you want to see perfect fast break basketball, here it is. 4 guys touch. A good challenge right there to create the missed shot. Villanueva, now look at the eyes. He looks up court quickly. Gay, the presence of mind to find Josh Boone, and a dunk at that end. It doesn't get any better than that, folks. Beautiful, beautiful play by the Huskies. And our Hyundai cool fact, let's take a look now at that cool fact. Josh Boone, 10 games with 5+ offensive boards as a freshman last year, and he will crack that probably in the first 5 games this season. A monster on the boards.
How about his free throw shooting? 40% a year ago, 3 for 3 so far tonight. Boone already with 11 points tonight. UConn with its biggest lead at 16. They've out-rebounded the Bulls 13-3. Boards down low, and Boone rejects that one. He's doing it all. Williams to Anderson for 3. Good box out there by Middleton, enabled his teammate Jordan to get the rebound. Quickly the other way, Jason Bird with the left-handed three. Bird led the team in threes a year ago with 43 of them. Senior from Ypsilanti, Michigan. Loose ball, who touched it last? Buffalo did. Kellogg back in for UConn, and what a night it has been already for Boone. Preseason second team All Big East selection.
He told me at shoot around today that he had a little bit of a knee problem this summer, and he didn't think that he was 100%, but he didn't think that it would bother his performance at all. His left knee, a little bit of a problem this summer. Tell you what, it's interesting how UConn players, a lot of guys play different things during the summertime. Denham Brown with the Canadian national team, Charlie Villanueva with the U.S. team.
2100 team, yep. And Rudy Gay, as we mentioned, played for the junior national select team. Great experience. Turnover for UConn. It's 6th of the night. Bortz on the left. It's Bird. He just hit a 3 last time down. This one's a 2, and nothing but white shirts underneath for the rebound. Denham Brown gets it. Here's Kellogg. He'll be the backup point guard.
Kellogg from McClymonds High School in Oakland.
Anderson for 3. Can't get it to go, and the rebound comes down to Middleton. It's a 3-on-3. Goes behind the back, stumbles. Pass down low, Bortz. Boone got a hand on it on the way up. And Armstrong gets the rebound and then falls down and looks to be okay. Huskies really controlling the backboard. Wow. Picking up where they left off last season when they led the country in rebound margin. Buffalo, a very good rebounding team. Reggie Witherspoon said, yeah, we rebound well, but we've never had to rebound against UConn.
Not against this team.
They were second best in rebounding margin in the Mid-American Conference. Boone to Anderson. Shot clock all the way down to 5. Kellogg around the Anderson screen. The long 3. And a great box out by Bortz, resulting in the foul by Boone.
Well, that possession for Jim Calhoun's team is very interesting because last year, when the clock's running down, Ben Gordon takes it and scores, gets to the paint, gets fouled. This year, they've got to find somebody to do that. Rashad Anderson is not a player that does that kind of thing. Kellogg going to the bench on that bad shot. So I think at the end of shot clock situations, that's something that UConn has to find, and I'm not sure who that's going to be this year, but it'll be interesting to find out as they progress. I really have to emphasize that Buffalo is a team that I think everybody has a lot of respect for, and the fact that UConn has beaten them so badly here is attestation to UConn's depth and talent right now and their intensity level. Buffalo came in here pretty confident. A lot of seniors, a lot of guys who have played a lot of basketball. UConn just dominating the boards.
Bortz, battle, baseline, shot clock down to 7, tries to save and does. It's inside 5. Middleton throws it up with 3. Villanueva with the rebound. Here's Kellogg.
I was mentioning McClymonds High School, Bob. You know any great players, famous players from McClymonds High School in Oakland?
Oh, we could start with my favorite player of all time, one William Fenton Russell.
That's right. That's right. And Gary Payton also.
Also Frank Robinson, Baseball Hall of Famer. Cage misses the 3. Rebound, Bortz deflects to Jordan. He missed the layup, and the rebound comes to Kellogg. Buffalo does a good job in transition defense on this UConn trip up the floor. Gay for Villanueva, a little bit too much mustard on it, but Denham Brown runs it down in the other corner. Jim Calhoun doesn't like the ragged play, and he calls timeout with 25 seconds left in the shot clock, and the Huskies leading by 13 points. I spoke with Jim Calhoun yesterday, Bob, and I asked him, you've been through this before. Beginning a season as the defending national champion, did you learn anything from last time around? He said, yeah, I learned that it's impossible to prepare to win a national championship because every team is different. The personnel is different. The mentality of the team is different. But I'll tell you this, our approach is the same, and that we'll treat Buffalo just the way we'll treat Pittsburgh and Notre Dame and Syracuse and the best teams in
you know what the problem is with this game? In the locker room, there are bags packed to go to London, England. That's where they're going. After this game, they're driving, as you know, to Boston and going over there to play 4 games. That, to me, is a mental distraction for this team. And if I'm Jim Calhoun going into this game, I'm not liking that, and I'm nervous and I'm antsy because I know, A, Buffalo is good, B, my guys can be thinking about this trip to London. Our bags are in there. We're getting ready to go afterwards. Everybody's thinking about that instead of focusing on what they're supposed to do. The beginning of this game, they have focused very well on what they're supposed to do, and Buffalo is trying to hang tough.
We're at Gamble Pavilion and Stores, opening night for UConn and Buffalo. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Bob Wenzel. Glad you've joined us for Big East basketball. UConn leading the Bulls 25-12. Charlie Villanueva misses. Rudy Gay with the offensive rebound. He's special.
He showed some length on that particular play. He's supposed to be the next superstar. Nice steal here.
Great
good handle.
Anticipation as he backed into the passing lane to pick that one off. Nelson to Gay, puts it on the floor, throws up the one-hander. Nelson will run down the rebound. Reggie Witherspoon wants a foul. He is irate, giving Will Bush an earful.
You must like Gay an awful lot. You didn't even say anything about that air ball that he just shot.
Well, he did everything right except when he released the ball. Williams with the runner. Rebound Nelson, far side, creates some space. Villanueva with one putback and another. Finally, Bortz gets it and will get the foul, I believe, on Nelson. Timeout, 6:38 remaining first half. On opening night, UConn out to a 15-point lead. .-point UConn lead. It has been a terribly challenging fall semester for freshman A.J. Price of UConn, who was rushed to the hospital about 2 months ago with flu-like symptoms and was diagnosed with an intracranial hemorrhage. He's okay now. There's A.J. in the gray warm-up suit. He's been seen by 5 different neurologists, and everything appears to be okay. He has apparently recovered fully from it, but what a scare. He was in critical condition for over a week, Bob.
Yeah, I talked to him today, and delightful young man, taking some coursework right now to break back into the academic side of things.
Away from the ball will get a hold on Villanueva. That will be his second and the 6th team foul on UConn as Josh Boone re-enters.
When you jump on somebody early in a game, you have to try to maintain your intensity. The other team is not going to go away. Buffalo is a good character type squad. So I think Jim Calhoun's intensity on the sideline is very interesting in this game. He does not want his guys to have letdown right here. And I think he's done a good job with that so far in this game. Also with his substitutions, keeping fresh bodies in the game.
Right side pull up by Gilbert. Air ball, rebound Villanueva. He lost his balance and just tried to save it. Instead, it winds up in the hands of Battle, and Gay will be called for the foul. That puts UConn over the limit. Their 7th, 2 on Gay, and the Bulls will shoot the 1-and-1.
You know, watching Charlie Villanueva at both ends of the floor right now, you know, his hands need to get a little bit stronger. You know, he gets to the ball a lot. I mean, his lower body, you know, he looks good. He looks like a strong player. Maybe he catches the ball so far away from his body when he gets bumped, he has a tendency to drop the ball and not keep it quite in his hands. Turner Battle's numbers, terrific year.
And a good free throw shooter a year ago, 75.2%. First free throw of the night for the Bulls. Life on the road.
Turner Battle is from the state of North Carolina in the Winston-Salem area, and he is also an All-MAC academic first-team guy also. Reggie Witherspoon sees him as a CEO sometime in the future.
Jim Calhoun told me that Buffalo has a real find in Battle, and he said there are many teams in our league, meaning the Big East, that could find a spot for him. Here's another steal. Great catch at the other end by Gilbert. Couldn't make the tough shot. And the Huskies come away inside the 6-minute mark, up 13. Williams. And on the perimeter, the hold will be called on Caves. That's his first and number 6 on Buffalo.
I think Marcus Williams really has done a very fine job so far tonight. If the jury is out about his role in replacing Talik Brown, he's done a very admirable job. Does not look for his shot very much. Really looking to distribute the basketball, doing a good job of that, playing solid defense.
Anderson, the inbound, and Villanueva deflected it right back to Anderson, who gave it to Villanueva for the basket.
He just sort of unfolded to the hoop on that one, using his length.
He's got 6 points. Cage guarded by Williams. The UConn lead is 15. Battles double. Gilbert goes by Denham Brown. Down low to Jordan for the layup.
Jordan was not intimidated right there. The shot blocking of Connecticut has been very much in evidence in this game. There's those hands I was speaking about a moment ago.
9th turnover for UConn, resulting in the easy basket by Gilbert, and Buffalo pulls within 11. Bulls last year won 9 more conference games than they did the year before. Only one team in Mid-American Conference history had a greater single-season improvement. Central Michigan once won 12 more. Look at the tip-in on Josh Boone.
You know, he was a shock last year, being as good a player as he was, coming in not highly recruited. And I'm telling you, he has improved dramatically. And I think it's playing with Okafor and being with him all the time in games last year, and knowing that he has to do more. He looks great.
Cage misses the 3. Last touch by Gilbert. Boone with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the floor. Was terrific in the NCAA Final Four.
How about that against Duke? 14 boards. That was when Emeka Okafor was in some foul trouble in the semifinals.
Picked up 2 early, and Jim Calhoun sat him down for the rest of the bench. A move which turned out to win the game. Anderson lays it in. Okafor came back in and fouled out every Duke big man except Mike Jaminski, who you coached, right? When you were on the staff.
That's right. But you know, the funny thing about that is that Boone, not only that game against Duke, but you think about the roughest rebounding teams in the league, and Pittsburgh is that in this league. He had 12 points and 13 boards against the physical Panthers last year as well.
Last touch by Buffalo will be UConn ball when we return. Josh Boone off to a terrific start. All Final Four selection last year. He's the man in the middle this time around. Josh Boone averaged 5 points a game as a freshman. Bob Wenzel already has 13 tonight.
But what would you want from an inside guy? Positioning, high-low action, score in the half court. A guy who can run the length of the floor and have the presence of mind to be in the right place at the right time. And a guy who can block shots. Josh Boone doing all of that in this game, plus his classic tip-ins on missed shots. 13 points, 6 boards, 5 for 7 from the field. Unbelievable. 7 rebounds, excuse me.
UConn already with 6 block shots tonight. Sweet position inside for Boone. Missed the first one, gets the second, and the foul.
Repetitive jumping. Keeping your hands up in the air, using all of your 6'11" foot frame. Very, very solid fundamentals right here. This is an impressive start for this sophomore. Emeka Okafor is gone, and much like Emeka, who was a very defensive stalwart his whole career, but his offense trailed his defense early in his career. Same thing with Boone, and he's starting to develop at the offensive end as well.
And 4 for 4 from the foul line tonight. We mentioned that Okafor fouled out all those Duke big men in the NCAA final. Well, Ibihi is on the bench with 2 fouls tonight. So is Bortz, and now number 55, Brian Andre, is in to get a crack at Boone at the other end. No one can handle number 21 so far.
Not in this game. And I'll tell you what, by the looks of it, he's displayed every possible thing a big man can do so far in this game.
Andre, shot clock down to 5. Middleton with the jumper. Long rebound, and Hilton Armstrong comes away with it. Kellogg and Williams together in the UConn backcourt for the first time at the 3-minute mark.
Interestingly enough, Kellogg doing the point guard duties, which is, I would not expect that.
And Kellogg drills his first career 3. He averaged 25 a game as a high school senior. All-American at McClymonds High School. 39-18 UConn. Husky run. Andre up top. Gives the ball to Jordan. And Jordan wanted to throw the backdoor pass to Gilbert. Anderson denied it, and it eventually resulted in a Jordan turnover.
One of the problems I thought UConn had in the early part of the season last year was guys on the perimeter played lackadaisical defense because they knew Okafor was there to block shots. In this game, I see a lot of good intensity by the perimeter guys trying to stop dribble penetration and doing a very good job of it against a quality team.
And it has resulted in Buffalo shooting 24%. Rashad Anderson with his third three of the first half.
Well, he's got the UConn record of 6 threes. He's tied it a couple of times in his career in one game.
He's got 13 tonight at the 2-minute mark. Huskies by 24. Down low, Armstrong will be called for the hold. Number 1 on him. Number 8 on the Huskies. And
technical.
I think Jim Calhoun gets his first technical foul of the year, courtesy Will Bush. Interesting. Like Calhoun was protesting the call to Pat Driscoll, who was the official nearest him, but it was Bush who teed him up.
Well, I think it's a good thing for Jim to get a technical early in the season like this. You know, gets him off everybody on the right foot. You know what we can expect for the course of the year.
I think you'd have a tough time convincing him of that at this particular moment. On February 2nd, Bob, when UConn plays Villanova, it will be Jim Calhoun's 1,000th game as a collegiate head basketball coach.
He had a great run at Northeastern, and of course a fabulous run here. Sometimes you look at coaches and you look at the schools they're at. Northeastern's never been as good as when he was there. And of course UConn has never been as good when he's here as well.
You don't think that's a coincidence, huh?
Yeah. But my point is that there's some schools, you know, they're good coaches, but they were good before they got there and they're good after they leave. It's not been the case with him. He has been the creator of these programs.
Here at UConn, he's 432 and 165.
And it's interesting with him and Jim Boeheim. You know, they both have about the same number of wins. He's been at 2 schools, Boeheim being at Syracuse the entire time. Both of them having their medical problems recently, both winning national championships recently. Certainly the signature guys in the Big East now, as Luke Carnesecca and John Thompson were signature guys years ago as well.
So now Andre is shooting the personal fouls. The first free throws were on the technical. There are Andre's numbers. Andre prepped a year at Maine Central Institute, and while there he hooked up in a game against Amari Stoudemire, and Andre came away with 13 points and 9 rebounds. What a tough catch for Boone on the overthrow. Couldn't save it to a teammate, however. Huskies have now turned it over for the 10th time. Andre in the lane, cross court, Anderson stole it. Here's Kellogg on the right. Pull-up jump, long rebound, belongs to Armstrong. Powers his way inside, and he'll get to the line.
Depth of big men involved in that particular play. On the previous play, this is a turnover, and the reason that we're showing this to you is to show you how difficult it is for a big guy to run. He needs to slow down at the free throw line, or else he's going to take himself right out of the play. And also the pass, if it's in the same lane as he is running, is a very difficult play to make. And of course, Marcus Williams likes that play, and it's been successful early, but not an easy one to accomplish.
Foul on Middleton, his second, 8 on the team. He leaves, and Armstrong at the free throw line, where he was only a 47% shooter a year ago. And Reggie Witherspoon knew what he was talking about when he said about, we're a good rebounding team, but we've never rebounded against UConn. They're not rebounding very well tonight against UConn.
No,
not many teams do.
I think that's exactly right.
Huskies have doubled Buffalo's 22-point total with 1:20 to go in the half. Middleton defended by Kellogg.
Nice D. Very nice D. Kellogg moving his feet, anticipating, not jumping when he's not supposed to jump. He comes in as a reputation as a good defensive player, and certainly demonstrating it so far in this game. Last year, you mentioned the rebounding and how great UConn was. There's the stat that supports it.
Foul was on Turner Battle on the push-off. And as is so often the case with UConn defensively, Bob, what a job they've done on the opposition's best player. Battle 2 points, 0 for 2 from the floor with 19 minutes gone. Anderson with the miss. Marcus White checks in and is quickly called for a over-the-back foul on the rebound. His first. Number 9 on UConn. It's good to see White back on the floor. He missed the last 35 games a year ago with a bulging disc and underwent off-season back surgery. He is a rebounding machine.
The year before, he played absolutely great in the NCAA tournament when they were in Spokane. They played against BYU and Stanford. He really was all over the offensive glass, and Jim didn't use him until the second half of the season that year, and he really did a great job. And of course, you mentioned the bulging disc and the other players. You know, he's not among the top few guys in the rotation at the 4 spot right now.
Well, he would be the 10th guy in a 10-man rotation. The question is, once UConn gets into the Big East portion of the schedule, will Jim Calhoun have a 10-man rotation? He may choose to go with 9. But
well, the funny thing is, if you go 1 to 10 and look at all the teams in the country, UConn might have the best talent 1 to 10.
Right.
I don't think they have the best talent 1 to 5, however.
Right.
So you want to make the game a game where depth is used more and more, and I think that's what they're going to try to do, as evidenced in this game.
Williams with the miss. Rebound kept alive by Marcus White to Anderson. Misses the shot. Rebound baseline. White. Anderson for 3. He ought to buy White a dinner.
Absolutely. Marcus White responsible for that. What tenacity on the boards.
White 2 years ago as a freshman was the second leading rebounder on a UConn team. And understand, one of his teammates was Emeka Okafor, so it was kind of tough to be number 1.
Look at the foot movement right here by Kellogg. And this battle is a good player he's guarding. He looks tired though.
Shot clock is off. UConn by 25 closing seconds of the half. Battle in the lane over Boone. Got it. So Battle gets his first field goal of the ball game just before the buzzer. Josh Boone had 6 field goals in the first half. 16 points, 7 rebounds. He was also perfect from the foul line. A very impressive performance on opening night for UConn. They lead Buffalo 47-24 at half. UConn has won all 15 of its Gamble Pavilion openers over the years and off to a terrific start at Gamble Pavilion on opening night this season. Bob Picozzi along with Bob Wenzel. Huskies leading Buffalo by 23 points at the half. It's a UConn team we spoke about, Bob, at the very beginning that suffered significant personnel losses via the NBA draft and graduation. So far, so good.
Well, they played 10 players in the first half. Nobody's played more than 15 minutes. The starters are all in double figures in terms of minutes. Rashad Anderson leading the way with 16 points on great outside shooting, and Boone patrolling the inside with his 16 points. Those two, the most experienced players on this team, leading the team so far. Marcus Williams, 3 assists and 3 turnovers so far. So the point guard position is what we want to keep our eye on in this game. The dominance of UConn has been on the boards and in the paint in this game so far. And this is against a team that's very well coached. Yassine Ibidi, the guy who's their big man at the top of the key, only played a few minutes because of foul trouble.
Buffalo ball to start the half. Turner Battle had just the 1 field goal at the very end of the half. UConn defended him brilliantly. Mario Jordan, here's Ibihi. Hands the cage and sets the screen for him. Rebound Anderson.
You mentioned something early, Bob, that I just saw again right there. Trying to go backdoor. UConn doing a good job of preventing backdoor cuts. So they're applying pressure and yet not being backdoored. That's good D.
Anderson up top to Denham Brown. Pull-up jumper over Gilbert. And a quiet night for Brown, now 0 for 3 from the floor. Does have 5 rebounds at the other end. Getting up the court quickly for the layup is Cage.
That's the first breakout Buffalo has had in this game. Cage is an excellent shooter, but he's been challenged well so far.
Boom, great look to Anderson.
Talk about backdoor plays. Excellent sharing of the ball.
Cage blows by Williams and sets up the wide open jumper for Gilbert. Can't get it to go, and here's Williams headed in the other direction. Williams from Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles, prepped year at Oak Hill in Virginia. Anderson for three, no good. And a good box out by the diminutive Battle, at least diminutive compared to Denham Brown, and he gets the rebound. Ibihi up high. He's from Morocco, played scholastically in Germany. In fact, one of his Buffalo teammates, Christian Schmidt, was his teammate at his secondary school in Germany.
Speaks and writes 6 languages.
It's like you.
One of them is English also. Right here, beautiful play. Touch pass. The two experienced guys teaming up. Boone and Anderson. Boy, I'll tell you what, nice duo, a nice combination. You're going to hear a lot about those two this season.
Anderson tried to feed Boone inside. Tough catch to keep it alive. Villanueva with the pull-up. Rebound in traffic. Boone!
Oh, my.
18 points and 8 rebounds, 7 of 10 shooting for the sophomore from Mount Airy, Maryland. Up top, Jordan, defended by the 6'11" Villanueva. Brown will commit the foul, and Turner Battle will go to the free throw line. But Josh Boone just getting it done. What an improvement over a year ago.
Right here, this is a muscle rebound. Takes it away from all the blue shirts. Uses his left hand. Uses the basket to protect against anybody blocking his shot from that side. Little English and spin off the goal. A dramatic improvement in his offense.
Battle made the Mid-American Conference All-Freshman team. Then as a sophomore, honorable mention All-League. Last year, second team All-MAC. This year as a senior, he is a preseason selection for All-MAC East Division. That's the way they do it in the preseason. They pick a preseason team in the East and the West. They are in the 6-team East Division. There are 7 in the West. Williams with the miss. Villanueva with 1 offensive rebound. And then coming away with it is Jordan. Battle. Dribbles by Williams, lost his footing. And they'll say that he lost his footing because Williams' foot got in the way, and Marcus will be called for his second foul of the evening, 2 on UConn in the second half.
Well, you mentioned the MAC with 13 teams. Of course, the Big East next year will have 16 teams. This year, the Big East has 12. All of them go to the Garden for the tournament. Right here, a little trip up. Incidental contact, but I think officials feel like they have to call something on a play like that. But of course, as I was getting into, the Big East changing very much next year with the addition of Louisville and Cincinnati, DePaul, Marquette, and South Florida. All of the teams will play 16 games, and the league will decide who the 3 extra opponents they will play. They'll play 13 teams once, and they will play 3 other teams, and that will be dictated by television and geography and rivalries. So it'll be very interesting next year.
That means each year, each team will not play 2 straight. Brown with the runner in the lane. First field goal of the night for the junior from Toronto, who once scored 111 points in a high school game. Battle defended by Brown. Bortz is checked in for Buffalo, replacing Ibihi. Jordan in traffic. Rebound kept alive by Gilbert's hustle. And finally, Anderson tried to save. What a hustle play.
Great hustle.
Keeping it alive was Jordan, resulting in the Gilbert layup. Great hustle by Mario Jordan. He went flying into his own bench. Villanueva down low, and he is held by Jordan. Second foul on him and first on Buffalo in the second half.
Right here, aggressive nature by all the players involved here. Good hustle by Jordan into the seats. His teammates catch it. I'll tell you what, you love to see that, don't you?
Yeah.
Great heart, great hustle by these guys.
To prevent your teammate from avoiding serious injury by catching him in that situation. Williams' pass is stolen by Gilbert, who gets the return pass from Cage.
Reggie Weatherspoon told me Gilbert's their most solid guy defensively, but he's a little bit over his head guarding bigger people and trying to rebound against guys at UConn in this game. He's going to be a good player in the MAC, kind of a glue guy.
Williams goes around the Armstrong screen and throws up the 3. Rebound in traffic, pulled down by Bortz. Has his pocket picked by Armstrong. Denham Brown down low to Armstrong, but Armstrong was leaning back and couldn't change directions to catch the pass.
I thought Denham Brown did a really good thing right there. Instead of taking a shot and making a move on his own, he knew Armstrong made the steal and tried to reward him by getting the ball back into Hilton. Nice team kind of play in that situation.
Armstrong played scholastically at Peekskill High School in Peekskill, New York, same high school that produced Los Angeles Clippers standout Elton Brand, who played against UConn while at Duke in the 1999 NCAA championship game.
UConn was the only team that double-teamed Brand with two big guys that season. That's why they won the game.
Boone with another rebound, his ninth, so he's one rebound away from a double-double. Rudy Gay. Inside pass stolen by Bortz. Huskies have turned it over 14 times.
The problem for Buffalo right here, it's always 5-on-5. They never get any kind of burst going.
Battle for three. Back rimmed it. Rebound to Armstrong. Here comes Kellogg. He replaces Williams at the point. Armstrong up top. That's out of his range. Gay defended by Gilbert, who was called for the hold. Number 1 on Gilbert, number 2 on Buffalo. That will bring us to our first timeout here in the second half. Over the years, UConn 72-29 in their season openers. They lead by 21. The defending national champs with a 21-point lead. And now it's time for the greatest UConn sports. Brought to you by Citgo, presents Fueling the Greatest. UConn's first ever two-time All-American was Ray Allen, undoubtedly one of the greatest to ever play for the Huskies. More than 1,900 points in his 3-year career, 4th most in history. And Allen ended his career with one of the most memorable shots in Big East championship history, beating Georgetown to win the conference title in '96, the year he was named Big East Player of the Year and was the number 5 pick in the NBA draft. The greatest of UConn sports is brought to you by Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. Out of the timeout, baseline, Brown loses his footing, somehow gets it to Armstrong. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Kellogg on the left of Denham Brown. Now the shot clock inside 10. Boone feeds Armstrong, who is stripped as he goes to the hoop. And the reach-in foul on Gilbert. Number 2 on him. Number 3 on the Bulls. And there you see that 1996 Big East Championship banner. That was the night that Allen not only made that miraculous shot, but it capped an unbelievable comeback for UConn. They trailed by 11 points with 4 minutes to go, and Georgetown never scored another point.
Tell you what, that's Super D. A guy like Ray Allen scoring points for you. I don't have great memories of that guy.
Well, I know
you 39 on me one time.
You coached Rutgers. He's right here, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he lit up your scarlet.
See that spot right over there? He kept making them. He was a great player. A lot of good ones here.
And he's off to a terrific start this year with the Seattle Sonics, who are probably the biggest surprise early in the season.
I think they're 8-1, right?
Yeah, they lost their opener and they won their next 8. Allen a lot to do with that. 22-point lead for UConn. Ibihi has returned, being defended by Ed Nelson. And Gay knocks that pass away. Bortz with the shot. Armstrong with the rebound on a hop, his 5th. Kellogg takes it to the middle, finds Denham Brown, his shot blocked by Bortz, but a foul is called. Bortz is the 3rd leading shot blocker in Buffalo history.
He was 3rd in the league last year with 41. Kellogg looking one way, passing the other way, finding Denham Brown, showing some true point guard skill right here. Right here.
Denham Brown shooting 2.
So at the free throw line is Denham Brown. Misses the first one. Brown was terrific in the exhibition season, had 19 against Bridgeport and 12 against Bryant.
You know the problem with him, I mean, he's a terrific player, but the problem is he's such a jump shooter and pull-up shooter. He never gets fouled. So as a result, I was talking to George Blaney about this before the game, he's got to get 8 or 9 baskets, you know, to have a good game. Other guys get 5 or 6 baskets, but they get, you know, 6 or 7 points at the free throw line, and he's never one of those guys that does that. George very astute at the offensive end. And of course, you know, he made a good point. You know, for Denham to have a good game, he's got to get a lot of good looks. He needs 10 or 12 shots if he's not going to get to the line at all.
Foul on Gay, his third, 3 on the team, and Ibihi at the line. Now, you mentioned, Bob, that he speaks and writes in 6 different languages, and they are Arabic, he's from Morocco, English, French, German, Moroccan, and Spanish. Of course, don't sell yourself short, because like all former coaches, you're bilingual.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
English and profanity.
Well, you know, when you get those guys who speak a lot of different languages and you start yelling at them, they look at you like they don't understand what you're really saying.
Denham Brown. Defended on the perimeter, now gives to Antonio Kellogg. He's guarded by Roderick Middleton. Played 6.5 minutes second half. UConn a 21-point lead. Nelson high-low to Armstrong.
Foul.
And he is held. And that will be Ibihi. And that will be his third. It's been a rough night.
He's having a tough time in there. He's got to defend all of these players. He doesn't normally play against guys this size and this athletic. He's trying to front, and every time he fronts, they go high-low on him. He's just not, you know, in the same category as these guys.
Kellogg desperation pass, and Armstrong used his 8-inch height advantage on Battle to pull in the pass. Kellogg will reset the offense. Armstrong sets the high screen, and Kellogg goes around it. Denham Brown is held by Turner Battle. That will be number 2 on Battle. Already 16 fouls on Buffalo in the first 6:43 of the second half.
It's got to be frustrating for Buffalo because you can see they're working hard. They're really executing their stuff, but they're just not being able to score because of UConn's size inside. They're not getting anything easy.
Kellogg to Brown. Back to Kellogg.
I'm interested to watch him direct the team here a little bit. A little too much bounce.
Denham Brown with 15 seconds left in the shot clock, and stolen from behind momentarily by Battle. Kellogg for 3.
Lucky possession. Not what they were looking for, but it ended up all right.
Kellogg's second 3 of the night. The Huskies 6 of 14 from 3-point range. They lead it by 24. Jordan on the left to Middleton. And as he starts to go, we'll get a blocking foul on Kellogg.
This is the first time I've seen Kellogg play, Bob, and what's impressive to me about him is his defensive tenacity. Usually young players who are highly decorated come into college and they're all about offense. This kid really seems to be digging the defense and really trying to work hard on it and making his impression there. He shoots a little bit of a line drive shot from the perimeter, and I'm not sure that he's a point guard yet, but Jim giving him a lot of time there because he knows he's going to have to play some at that spot.
First foul on Kellogg, 4 on UConn's second half. Ibihi, defended by Armstrong, wants to go at him, takes the awkward-looking jump hook, and Denham Brown with the rebound. We played 8 minutes second half, and away from the play, we'll get a hold, and the long night for Yacine Ibihi continues as he gets whistled for his 4th personal foul. And that's 7 on Buffalo, over the limit. So UConn will spend the last 12 minutes shooting a lot of free throws.
Well, Bortz is going to have to come in and spell Yacine right here. And Bortz is certainly capable, physical, you know, good offensive player as well. As you mentioned, a good shot blocker, 3rd in the MAC and block shots. But UConn, you know, we talked about the strength of this team being their inside players. They can just overwhelm you, and the effects that it has, so many inside players, 5 or 6 guys who can crash and score in there, you're going to get situations where they're going to get the opponent in foul trouble, and the fatigue factor is going to come into play as well with opponents.
Huskies 10 of 12 from the line tonight, and this is a team that was 312th in the country last year in free throw shooting. They shot last year from the foul line, UConn only 62%. That was about the only weakness in the national championship team a year ago.
And it didn't rear its ugly head at any time where it mattered most.
Jordan spins on Marcus White. Bortz. They double teamed the ball, and Bortz rolled to the hoop and got rewarded.
Not many clean shots like that for Buffalo today.
And we'll get another foul on the Bulls. New rule in college basketball this year: when there's immediate timeout, when the clock's stopped by a foul, we take the timeout first, then the free throw.
UConn up big, mainly on the shoulders of that young man, sophomore, 6'11", Josh Boone, doing it all, as we say, defensively, blocking shots. They're not quite thinking about Emeka Okafor being gone yet. Circus play at the other end, teaming up with Rudy Gay and Marcus Williams. His ability to run the floor, very important. And of course, the tenacity on the offensive boards. And one thing at the other end we see, a nice little touch pass, getting into the assist action. Josh Boone, a great debut in his sophomore year.
Kellogg missing the front end of the 1-and-1 on the free throw. And we'll get another foul in the middle of the court on Middleton. That will be his 4th and 9 on Buffalo.
And that's the second charge that Kellogg has taken in this game. And if you want to get on a coach's good side, you take charges, and he's done a remarkably good job of that.
You mentioned before, Bob, on the shoulders of Josh Boone. Those shoulders look a little bigger than last year, don't they?
He looks like he's gained about 20 pounds to me, and it looks like all muscle.
Boone started 37 games a year ago. Played a very sort of understated role on the national championship team. He won't be understated this year. Anderson hits the shot and falls to the floor. He's got 20. Shot Anderson scoring 20 points for the 7th time in his career. Jordan to Jason Bird. Loses his footing, manages to get it to Jordan. Takes the return pass. Goes around Marcus White and threw it right into the hands of Rashad Anderson. 3-on-2. Williams to Anderson for 3. Rebound weak side Denham Brown, and a fresh 35 on the shot clock. Denham Brown with 7 rebounds tonight. Marcus Williams once had 24 assists in one game at Oak Hill Academy 2 years ago. The school record. Anderson knocked out of bounds by Bird with 15 seconds left on the shot clock.
Right here, Anderson put the ball on the ground with his left hand, shooting it over someone. His mantra is, I'm never guarded. Nobody's ever on me. So there's never a bad shot. He can make shots that are questionable.
Preseason second team all Big East choice. Good anticipation by Battle, deflecting the ball out of bounds. It gives an opportunity for Jim Calhoun to do a little coaching. We are at Gamble Pavilion in Stores opening night for UConn and Buffalo. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Bob Wenzel. Glad you're spending part of your weekend with us. UConn jumping out to a 18-4 early lead, a 16-2 early game run, and they have not looked back. And they lead at 62-36 midway through the second half.
Marcus Williams tried a little behind the back pass in the lane there and threw it out of bounds. That is an automatic go to the bench and sit down for a while play.
So Kellogg will inbound baseline.
I always thought that if you have somebody behind a player who can come in and play, it's a lot easier to get the discipline right. The bench is your best disciplinarian.
And Wallace Hall checks into the game and immediately gets a basket, and will get to the foul line.
A young freshman in his first game.
He's out of Denby Technical High School in Detroit, where he averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists a year ago. And this is his first free throw of his collegiate career. Buffalo will return home. They'll fly home first thing tomorrow morning, and will host Fairleigh Dickinson in their home opener on Tuesday. Next 4 games are home for the Bulls. They will play Indiana State next Saturday at the HSBC Arena in Buffalo. That's where UConn played its first and second round NCAA tournament games last year.
Big time.
Vermont and DePaul.
You know, when you think of upstate New York basketball, certainly you think of Syracuse, but when you think of the Buffalo area, the private schools have been the ones. You know, St. Bonaventure at different times, and of course Canisius and now Buffalo as a state school. There's their schedule, as you can see, and Western Michigan involved in their league. And Niagara's the other one. Niagara played Providence the other night and played a very, very tough game against the Friars. So this is new. Buffalo being a good school and being picked #1 in the MAC is a new thing for them. It's a positive thing for Reggie Witherspoon and his staff. This game is not really displaying the quality of their abilities. They're being overwhelmed by a more highly talented team here on this kind of a night. But I look for good things from Buffalo this year.
Foul on Jason Bird, and he made the mistake of fouling the three-point shooter. So Rashad Anderson will go to the line, and he will shoot 3. 78% free throw shooter a year ago, and a big opening night for Anderson. This despite playing with that chip bone in his foot, which is hampered him. Jim Calhoun was trying to make a lot of people believe yesterday that he wasn't sure Anderson and/or Villanueva would start on opening night.
Give me a break. Look at the height on this shot. I mean, he has unbelievable arc, Bob. And the other thing about his shot, it's not a dead ball. It spins, but it rotates ever so slowly. It's a very odd kind of thing. Usually the spin, you know, is a lot quicker than his shot. See how that ball rotates so calmly like that? Unbelievable. Very unusual.
Anderson with 23 points, and the UConn lead is up to 27.
Bob, you live in Connecticut and you follow UConn basketball and all that kind of stuff. When Jim Calhoun does that, is he sort of sending a message? Is that what that's all about?
Well, in this case, I think it was very clear that was the message, as well as the Villanueva, who did get the start but has not had nearly as productive an evening as Anderson. And Buffalo gets the timeout to avoid the held ball call with 9:05 remaining. We'll step aside. UConn with a big fat 25-point lead in its season's opener. It's been all UConn on opening night, and Bob, we have not seen the best of Turner Battle on this opener.
No, and typically these are the kind of plays that he would make in a game. You know, using a pick and roll, driving to the basket, using his right hand or his left hand, averaging 14 or 15 a game. Only 8 points in this game so far. So those are the things that he normally does, way under what he normally does in a game. But interestingly enough, when you think of the highly ranked teams that are playing, North Carolina gets beat last night by a mid-major school. Niagara almost beats Providence, a mid-major school. And here, Connecticut really taking care of business.
Jason Bird burying the 3, his second of the night in as many attempts. That was the 101st 3 of his career. And on the rebound, we're going to get a foul called on the Huskies. I think this one will go on Josh Boone. Yep.
That was one of the plays that he didn't make all game long. He's been practically perfect. Got his feet tangled up, wasn't able to go up strong for the shot, and fouled the rebounder. Villanueva has not done very much in this game. Boone has been the star. Villanueva not getting as many opportunities at the offensive end.
6 points, 8 rebounds. Blitz over Boone.
Oh, man. That's a nice move. Good quickness, good strength.
6'10" senior out of Commerce Township, Michigan. Mark Ports. Anderson baseline, lost his balance. And on the rebound, it's battled 2-on-2. Puts on the brakes and has his pass stolen by Anderson. Here comes Williams, takes the middle like any good point guard should, and nearly threw it away. Villanueva picks up the loose change and gets the foul. This one will be on Mario Jordan.
Well, Villanueva came into UConn last year and was the talk of the town in terms of maybe going directly to the NBA, and he's obviously made the right choice in not doing that. A lot of developmental years ahead of him here at UConn. He does have very good skills. He sees the floor well for a 6'11" player. He prefers to play on the perimeter. Does a good job usually offensive rebounding. Tonight not the case because Boone's been dominating in that particular area. Averaged 19 minutes a game last year as a substitute, and does a lot of things well.
Denham Brown back in for the Huskies. replacing Anderson, who sits down with 23 points, 8 of 16 shooting, 4 of 9 from three-point range. And another turnover for the Bulls, only their 12th.
Well, Rudy Gay caused that turnover, and we talked about what a talented player he is. He has a 7-foot 2-inch reach and a 41-inch vertical jump. So he is a talented athlete.
McDonald's All-American last year, senior year at Baltimore, showing some of that talent to get to the hoop there, but couldn't finish. Battle blows by Denham Brown. And Jim Calhoun wants to talk it over with 7:28 remaining. Or no, actually Reggie Witherspoon called the timeout. Battle now with 10 points. He's in double figures for the 48th time in his career.
Well, right here, he takes the ball strong, protects it, gets his body between the defensive player and the ball, as all good fundamental players will do on the break. And right now, Reggie trying to get enthused with his group. A little lull in the action from the standpoint of UConn right now. Still down 19, but a lot of time left in the game. Plenty of time to make a run, but certainly UConn has shown the ability to fend off those kind of runs so far in this game.
Chatted with Reggie the other day, and he said, I've never approached any game thinking we can't win, but we're not going to enter this game saying if we do this and we do that, we can win. What we need to do is execute at one end and defend at the other.
They haven't really done a lot of either in this game. The effort has been there. Change of defense, a little run and jump action. Trying to change up the defense, create turnovers here. UConn handled it well.
9-1 Bulls run to pull within 19 as we approach the 7-minute mark. They have held UConn to 43% shooting. Huskies a 48% shooting team a year ago. Denham Brown with a deep three. His first three of the night. 40.2% career three-point shooter. 69-47 Huskies. Jordan goes by Villanueva, and Villanueva catches up in a hurry. Here's Brown, has Gay to the left, and he finds him. And as Gay goes up, he is fouled by Battle. Foul on Battle, his second. Rudy Gay will shoot a couple of free throws when we return. UConn up by 22 in their opener. Next to Jim Calhoun's assistant George Blaney, Andre LaFleur in his first year as an assistant on Jim Calhoun's staff, and next to him Patrick Sellers in his first year as the director of basketball operations. He is the older brother of Rod Sellers, who was the center on Jim Calhoun's first NCAA tournament team back in 1990.
How about that? Stuff running in the blood, huh? I didn't know that.
Patrick played at Central Connecticut.
He was at UMass last year, right?
Yep.
Before he came here. And Andre played at Northeastern.
He's a great player for Jim Calhoun.
Point guard up there. It's nice when you have former players and guys on your staff that have played for you or been involved with you like that. There's a certain bondage, and they know exactly what you expect.
Of course, Dave Lato, the head coach at DePaul, played for Jim Calhoun at Northeastern and then coached for Jim both at Northeastern and here at UConn. They wound up coaching against each other in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
That's right. And, of course, they will be in the league next year.
They'll be coaching against each other a lot.
They'll know each other's tendencies quite a lot, won't they?
At the free throw line is Calvin Cage, 6-foot junior from Capitol Heights, Maryland.
You know, this trip that they're taking to London tomorrow, they're going to play some games over there, and those trips will be eliminated next year. This is the last year the teams are going to be able to do that during the season. You can do it in the summertime, of course, but doing it during the school year is going to be prohibited next year. So this will be the last time the teams are able to do that. They're playing against the London Towers team.
Playing 4 games in 4 nights starting Tuesday. Another turnover. Huskies have turned it over 17 times. Paul. And Boone with the rejection. Williams can't save, so Josh Boone with the block shot. He has a double-double tonight, 18 points, 10 rebounds, so his 4th career double-double.
He has good timing. You know, he's 6'11", of course, and he gets off the floor, but notice how he waits for the player to jump first. good shot blockers do that, and of course he's learned from one of the best all time in Emeka Okafor, playing with him all the time.
Cage lost his balance as he went to the hoop. Last touch by the Bulls. Time now for the Cooper Tire Defensive Player of the Game, and you're looking at him.
No doubt about that. Include those defensive rebounds in there and the blocks and the steals. Josh Boone has been all over the floor.
Those 63 block shots he had a year ago, the 7th most in one season in UConn history. Wild scrum in front of the UConn bench will result in a held ball. Arrow aiming toward Buffalo. So it will be Bulls ball.
You know, that thing about their trip to England, you know, since they're not going to have them anymore, I said, well, why are you going? And Jim said that it's a chance to bond, and it's also a chance for experimentation. And I think he needs, you know, he doesn't have a lot of experience. He's got a lot of good players, but they need, the more they play, the better they're going to get. So those are the two reasons for making this trip.
Officials huddled together there for the purpose of determining how many seconds should be on the shot clock. Clock mistakenly recycled to 35 when the whistle blew. So it goes to 16, and Denham Brown with his second three of the night.
His best shot is the pull-up. He almost is better with one dribble rather than standing still. Very good balance. I think the bounce gets him in his rhythm a little bit better.
Brown with his 9th rebound. Brown a point and a rebound away from a double-double after a slow start. And nearly got the points there. Bortz with the block. Williams comes away with it.
Bortz got a piece of that one too.
And Rudy Gay with the putback. His 5th and 6th points. Cage changes directions and goes right by Marcus Williams. Jim Calhoun told me yesterday his greatest concerns this year, what kind of play will he get at the point guard and our perimeter defense. He said too many guys go past us too easily. Here's a pickpocket battle. As a man on the left, he faked the pass and laid it in himself. And Jim Calhoun wants to talk it over after turnover number 18. So if there is one dark cloud on the horizon tonight, it has been UConn's inability to take good care of the ball at times.
Well, I think what's happening, Bob, with this is it's at junctures of the game where they've got a big lead. They get a little bit lazy and they lose their composure and their poise a little bit when they're way ahead. This is a good example of it. Buffalo taking advantage and getting a layup out of it. But at the part of the game where the game was really decided in the first half, there was very little of that at all. This kind of lazy defense has happened when they got the big lead and they haven't maintained their intensity. But the part of the game where things were questionable, their intensity and their defense on the perimeter was excellent.
There's Jim Calhoun, who has won 2 national championships, the last one coming last April 5th. And when they did that, Bob, UConn became only the 3rd school, Kentucky and Duke being the others, since the NCAA tournament field expanded to 64 teams, to win more than one NCAA championship. That began in 1985 when they expanded the field. It was a long time ago. And since then, Duke has won 3, Kentucky 2, and now UConn 2. Nobody else more than 1. That's pretty select company.
Yeah, no doubt about that. UConn's in select company with in every phase of basketball. Numbers of times to the Sweet 16, numbers of times to the Final 8, the whole deal.
Ibihi has just fouled out, sending Marcus Williams to the line. So Ibihi leads with 4 points on 1 of 5 shooting and only 2 rebounds. Or no, they're going to call this, well, up on the board it says it's Ibihi's 5th. It's number 5 on someone. And Buffalo using the opportunity to huddle.
Well, he speaks 6 different languages, but he didn't say that he knows the numbers in those languages. So maybe he doesn't know that he has a 5th foul, or he thinks he has 6 fouls.
Well, if his hearing is okay, he knows it now. He was just told by Pat Driscoll, you're done.
Well, it was a tough night, and Yacine is going to be a very, very good player for Buffalo during the course of the year. He will never see a team with such overwhelming front court talent as he has seen tonight. Now did that ball hit the rim at all?
Marcus Williams, one of the big question marks for UConn this year. How would he do succeeding Talik Brown? And you saw his numbers. Now with with 3 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, only 1 of 7 shooting.
But 4 turnovers.
Has fought shot tonight a little more than he normally does. Last year, he shot only 37% from the floor, was 3 for 17 from three-point range in 16 games before he ran into academic trouble. Left side jumper, Middleton for 3. His second 3 of the night.
Well, I think the strength of Marcus Williams is his passing ability. And right here, takes it the length of the floor to knock the basket in. But he's not going to be a great outside shooter if he can score just enough to keep people honest. But his distribution value is very high.
Rebound, Ed Nelson, who was at his pocket picked after the rebound. Bortz tips it in with the left hand. And now Buffalo will use a timeout with 3:46 to go with a 79-57 lead.
Well, the kind of shots that Marcus Williams are going to get are these type, where it's in transition, it's a little mixed up. He's got a nice knack of using the glass to get the ball in the basket. He did that same type of shot in the first half. So it's a different style of point guard. When you have a point guard that's been with you for 4 years, like Talik Brown was with this group, there's a change that's going to be involved. Those were his preseason numbers. Absolutely fantastic, showing that he can distribute the basketball to his teammates. And he has a lot of teammates who can score. So that's a very valuable commodity for this team. Now, how much he's going to turn the basketball over, whether he's going to play solid defense or not, those are some questions that have to be answered. And in the half court, can he dribble, penetrate, and get shots for people when it's 5-on-5? The thing I like about him the most is his ability to pass the ball from the backcourt to the front court in the break. And the reason that's important for this team is they got so many big guys who can run well.
Williams gets it across the midcourt line. This is Gay. Cross court to Ryan Thompson. His first action in a UConn uniform was a red shirt a year ago. Young man from Gold Coast, Australia, played at Western Nebraska Community College, and how about that for the first shot of his collegiate career? Right side, Middleton gives to Cage. Bortz juggles the pass, then runs it down. Cage to Bortz again. Gilbert down low. Thompson got a hand on it. Bortz comes away with it, and he'll draw the foul. White and Armstrong were both in the vicinity, and it will be Armstrong who's whistled for the foul.
Timeout on the court.
So a three-pointer from down under for Ryan Thompson. Welcome to the Big East. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Cooper Tires, proud to be the official tire of the Big East Conference. Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing. And by Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. Back at Gamble Pavilion, 2:54 to go on opening night. At the free throw line, Mark Bortz, senior from Michigan.
6'10", 255, third leading shot blocker in the MAC. Has played well in this game despite his team being behind so much. 9 points so far and 10 boards.
Was playing in the MAC. Bortz gets an opportunity to return to his native state quite frequently. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan are 3 of the 7 schools in the MAC's West Division. What a 2004 it's been for Jim Calhoun, a lifelong New England Patriots fan. They won the Super Bowl in February, and probably an even bigger and longer Boston Red Sox fan. We know what they did in October, and in between, of course, his team won the national championship. So I wonder if he's going to buy a lottery ticket anytime soon. Everything rolling his way. The 3 by Middleton is third of the night. Armstrong up the court to Thompson. White's pass inside, knocked away. Reggie Witherspoon inherited a real mess at Buffalo. Took over 5 games into the 99-2000 season as the interim coach. the end of the season, he got the job permanently. The school was placed on 2 years probation because of violations that had been committed before he got there, which was the reason the opening was created. And he took over. He told me, we played North Carolina a couple days after I got the job. I didn't even know the players of all my, or the names of all my players. Marcus White lays it in.
That's not a good thing. 4-24, 12-18, a 5-23, and then last year 17-12. Best, arguably the best record in the history of the school, playing against good competition.
He was named the Mid-American Conference Coach of the Year for his efforts. Gay starts to drive, and the reach-in foul will be called on Gilbert. Witherspoon, a Buffalo native, and you can see the program certainly headed in the right direction. This is what has happened in his 4 full seasons at the helm.
And
Took over for Tim Cohane.
Right, Tim Cohane was there previous to him, but that's what you look for if you're an administrator at a school, especially a school like Buffalo. It's not a big basketball school. You look for the direction of the program, the involvement in the community. This guy is a real gentleman, and he's been there forever. And he got the contract extension through the 2009 season, so that gives him some sense of being there, and tells the recruits that he's the guy that they're going to play for, and gives some solidity to the program.
Walk-on Jason Beisch enters the lineup for UConn. 6'6" senior out of Southbury, Connecticut, one of the crowd favorites. Ryan Thompson goes up for the rebound with 1.5 minutes remaining. Gay goes by Middleton and is called for the charge. For Gay, his 4th. 10 team fouls on the Huskies. We are at Gamble Pavilion on the UConn campus in Stores. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Bob Wenzel. Season opener for the Huskies. Last time they lost a home opener was to Fairfield on December 7th, 1982. They won 21 home openers in a row since then. 14-4 in season openers under Jim Calhoun. Thompson with another rebound. Double teamed in the backcourt and throws it into the arms of Cage. Sets up Middleton for 3. Rebound to Gilbert. Back to Cage. Goes by Gay. Lays it in at the 1-minute mark, and